Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the next installment of my makeup collection series, and today's video is all about the foundations that I have in my collection. I want to be sure that I give my usual disclaimer. I am so sorry if there's any background noise. I do live in a house with 4 other people, and you know, they're living their lives, doing their thing. Currently right now, my boyfriend is in this wall right here. He's in the room right there, watching memes. I can hear him. So there's that. But like I said, this video is my foundation collection video, and I have taken notes on all the foundations that I have, and I'm super excited to get into this video. So let's go ahead and just get started. The first foundation that I'm going to talk about is my Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation, and I have this in the shade Soft Ivory. I think this is my second or third bottle of this foundation, and if I repeatedly buy a foundation, that means that I truly love it, because obviously I love testing out new makeup, and I always try to keep new products coming in and out so that I can truly compare things and test new things. And so if I continually repurchase a foundation, then I truly like it. Some things about this foundation: this gives a really nice medium coverage, and it gives you a really skin-like finish, and honestly it is my go-to foundation. And when I say skin-like finish, I mean that it is slightly luminous, but it doesn't look like you have a ton of foundation caked on your skin, which I don't really think that is a look that any of us like to go for anymore. And it just makes you look like your skin has some life to it, which is what I typically look for in a foundation. The Fenty Beauty Pro Matte Soft Filter Foundation. Hey guys, editing Emily here. Just realized I totally said the name of the foundation wrong. It's the It's the Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation, not the Pro Matte Soft Filter Foundation. So, carry on. My beloved Fenty foundation. Now, this is a really controversial product. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I really don't think it's a product that you can just be like, kind of like, yeah, it's okay. I definitely think you either love it or you do hate it, and personally, I love it. I think this foundation is best applied with a sponge. It is very full coverage. It covers up all the scarring on my cheeks, and I like it best applied with a sponge because how full coverage it is. And I find that if I apply it with a brush, it can make my skin look a little bit cakey and a little bit almost flaky, which is kind of weird because I don't have dry skin. I actually have very oily skin, so the fact that if I apply this with a brush, it can make my skin look super dry, that kind of says a lot. The 2 shades that I have are 150 and 180. I like to wear 150 when I'm more pale and 180 when I'm a bit more tan. And obviously, as you can see, they are 2 very different shades. 150 is a lot more neutral, 180 is a lot more golden. Before I continue, I do also want to say that I do not have these foundations in any particular order. This is not a ranked video. I literally just pulled them out of my drawer, put them in this order, and this is what I'm going with. The next foundation is my Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me Foundation. Again, I have 2 shades of this, which also is a telltale sign that it is one of my favorite foundations, because if I have 2 shades, that means that I want to be able to wear it in the winter and in the summer. And I love this foundation. This is probably my second favorite foundation, right behind the next foundation that I'm going to talk about. And it is definitely a medium coverage, but it is very, very buildable. I recently featured this in a Get Ready With Me that I uploaded on Wednesday, so if you have not seen that yet, go check it out. And it gives you, again, a beautiful natural finish. It is not super cakey, it is not super full coverage, so you can build up the coverage in any areas that you need it. When I apply it, I do a thin layer all over my face, and then I take a little bit more right here on my cheeks where I have some more discoloration, and build up right there just to cover up my acne scars a little bit more. The next foundation is not actually a foundation, it is more of a skin tint, and it is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. This is my all-time favorite foundation. It is light coverage, but it gives you enough coverage that it evens out your skin tone really beautifully. And it is my everyday foundation when I just want to put a little bit of makeup on. Maybe I'm just running to the store and I don't want to do a full look like this. I will throw this on, mascara, and call it good. It is super hydrating. It has hyaluronic acid in it. One of the claims is that it moisturizes and plumps skin for 24 hours. And I personally have not tested that claim because I don't know who would need to wear their foundation for a full 24 hours. But I definitely believe that it plumps. It does make your skin look so nice and healthy, and it's just a really beautiful foundation. And I have the shade Nude, and it is a fantastic color match. When I swatch it, you honestly cannot even tell that I've swatched it. It blends right into my skin. The next foundation that I'm going to talk about is the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD High Definition Longwear Illuminating Foundation. That was the longest name in the world. I really don't understand why it had to be that long, but that is okay. So this is, again, a really, really luminous foundation. It says it right in the name, Longwear Illuminating Foundation, and it definitely lives up to that claim. I do not think it gives you full coverage. I think it is more of a medium coverage, but it is pretty buildable, and it is so dewy. I'm actually wearing it today, and I have only set under my eyes, the middle of my forehead, and then down my T-zone. The rest of my face is just this foundation, and it is so dewy. It is so beautiful. I have the shade Fair, and it's just such a nice foundation. It is very moisturizing, so there are some foundations that are illuminating, but when you put them on, they do still kind of like feel like they dry out your skin. And personally, I don't really have that issue because, again, I have oily skin, but this does not do that at all. The L'Oreal Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream Anti-Fatigue. This is such a strange product. The claim right on the bottom says that it transforms to universal shade to awaken complexion. I'm not a huge fan of this, but I keep it around because there are some occasions when this is what I want. On days when I feel like my skin is looking really dull, this is what I will go for. This is orange. And that sounds really scary, but it comes out kind of like a pale orange, and then I apply this with my fingers, and when I start blending it out, it turns into a deeper orange. So if you're not careful and you don't blend it out really well, it can make you literally look orange. But I have found that if you manipulate it enough, really take the time to work it into your skin, work it into your hairline, blend it down your neck, then it does give you a really nice finish. This is a light coverage foundation, and it is matte, which is kind of interesting because you hear BB cream and you usually think of something that's lightweight, hydrating, and kind of dewier, but this is matte when you apply it to your skin, and it is a really, really, really thin consistency, which I actually enjoy for a product like this. I go for this when I want to kind of brighten up my skin and make myself look more awake, and I don't want to cake a bunch of makeup on when I'm trying to look more awake, because I feel like that can sometimes just like kind of drag you down. The Revlon Photoready Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation is slowly becoming one of my favorite foundations. It is a medium coverage and not super buildable, but it gives you a very natural and skin-like finish. And I feel like this is such an average foundation, but in the best way possible. I know that when you say like, oh, this is kind of like an average, mediocre product, you typically think of it as a bad thing, but this is such a nice basic foundation. It gives you a nice bit of coverage and it doesn't look cakey. I have the shade Vanilla, which is a really, really good match for me, and I think that I would honestly compare this to the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. The Maybelline Matte and Poreless has a bit more coverage than this does, but I still think that the finish that it gives your skin, they're pretty similar. The next one that I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Foundation Serum with Goji Berry. This has an SPF of 25 and I have the shade Light Medium. Now, this is also my second bottle of this, and the first time I got it, I had the shade Fair Light, which was such a better shade match than this. This looks a little bit orange on me, and I would much rather have a foundation be too light than too dark because it's a lot easier to make a foundation look darker with bronzer than it is to make a foundation look lighter with concealer. So this is a really nice foundation. Again, it is very light coverage. Honestly, it is hardly any coverage, and it is a very thin, watery consistency. But I find that this is really beautiful to kind of even out your skin tone and then go in and spot conceal anywhere you need to spot conceal and just go about your day. While it is a very light coverage, it is a very natural looking finish, and I love that. Besides the Maybelline Matte and Poreless, I've had this in my collection the longest. Not this specific bottle, this is a repurchase, but I've had this I think at least 4 years. Like, I've consistently bought this. The last two foundations that I'm going to be talking about in this video are my two very full coverage foundations. The first one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick, and I have this in the shade Warm Natural. Is it warm or just natural? I bought this from a TJ Maxx. I know, but it is actually a really good foundation. I know that so many people dislike this, and it's kind of a controversial foundation, but I think it is super, super nice. I've used this a good amount of times, and I still have a considerable amount left in the package, and the shade is not the You're so annoying. The shade is not the best. It's a little warm in about 1 to 2 shades too dark, but it is very full coverage. I have to be careful when I apply this because if I apply too much, it can get pretty cakey, but it lasts such a long time on your skin. It is matte, and I find that matte foundations typically do last longer on your skin, and that is definitely true for that one. My boys. Hi, baby. Do you want to tell them about this last one?
What's this?
Foundation.
Flawless Finish Foundation. How do you present? Do you present it like this?
Nope, I just go.
Oh.
Just hold it up.
Just hold it up?
Just hold it up.
Sorry, that's just...
I go.
Flawless Finish, full, super thick, and kind of luminous.
Yeah, it's a full coverage foundation. It's a very thick consistency, but somehow it still gives you a pretty luminous finish, which is odd considering it's full and super thick. So that is it for this video with some unexpected guests.
Hi.
So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching my foundation collection video.
And with a little help of me doing nothing.
Displaying a foundation. Like this. You have to say, don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. Say it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go.
And I'll see you in my next video. Say it. And she'll see you in
her next video.
In your next video. I'll see you in your next video. That is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!